Welcome to the super depressing dystopian cyberpunk future of Japan, where all anime, ecchi and naked women are banned. Nobody knows what sex is, some people can't distinguish love from lust, and everyone is wearing monitors that can track whatever they are saying. And why? Because this is the future that the liberals want. Although this isn't entirely bad, because there is something that is worse than this: living in Birmingham.
Birmingham is a fucking shithole! I hate the fucking place! I fucking hate it! It's full of dickheads! I fucking hate it!
By the way, before we start the video, I just want to let you know that currently 92% of you are not subscribed to the channel. So please, subscribe to the channel this year so we can finally reach 1,000 subscribers. And once we reach that goal, I will review the anime Kanojo x Kanojo x Kanojo. And by the way, stick around to the end of the video for a special announcement. Anyways, back to the video. Now, before we start this anime review, we should probably give some context of what this anime is about and what inspired the creation of this anime. So anyways, here's an anime YouTuber who can actually review shit. Add a cheese.
So, Speedy has asked me to talk a little bit about the prevalence, or rather the visibility of sexual themes in Japan for the purpose of understanding the world of Shimoneta a bit more. Since things like adult material does tend to be more in the public eye over there, and yeah, people like to point out how Japan is the world's 4th largest consumer of porn, or how people there apparently have weird fetishes, etc, etc, etc. Hell, we even had that stupidly racist hit piece by Vice News covering the topic. But most people also forget that what is actually the biggest difference between the West and Japan is simply visibility. I mean, the UK consumes more porn than Japan, with around half the population. Here we just like to hide our desires, which, to be fair, was not always the case, looking at the older times here when porn mags were readily available and visible in stores, and then internet porn happened. Yes, I'm old, I remember this shit. Meanwhile, Japan has been a comparatively sexually free country for a very long time, since over there the church wouldn't lop off your hands for tugging it every now and then. Something which is very apparent in even older Japanese art. Yes, we've had our fair share of raunchy art here as well, but it and the act itself has always been more of a private and somewhat shunned matter. Meanwhile, in Japan, what could be called the very first piece of tentacle hentai is well over 200 years old, and the more you look, the more you find. The generally very stylized and artistic depictions of erotica, combined with the generally more liberal approach to the visibility of the material, does also seep over to a lot of anime today, in the form of both ecchi and fanservice. Yes, hentai too, but that is for the purpose of being fat material, so it's a little different. But the problem, in quotation marks, of sexual content in anime has recently been brought to light, as anime has garnered more and more popularity globally, and the usual Twitter crowd of antis has discovered that there is on occasion a little bit of cleavage to be found there, going so far as to try and cancel both the medium and its fans, to a point where I think Shimoneta might have taken some inspiration from anime threads populated by angry westerners for its world building and themes. Anyway, I hope this helped you understand the gravity of the change in public values from reality to the dystopian future depicted in the show. Now back to Speedy for the actual breakdown.
So the story starts out with us meeting the character Tanukichi, who is the son of a sexual freedom fighter and is going to attend a new school. And on the way to the school, he comes under attack by a Zona fan. Oh whoops, I meant a sexual freedom fighter called Blue Snow, who is spreading explicit material like the CIA distributing cocaine to gangs in the 1980s. After escaping this attack, Tanukichi manages to escape and get to school. And this is where we find out he's from originally a school that had very bad morals, and a person under his desk has something to say to him.
Does Santa deliver babies to people?
Can I skip this question?
Turns out no one at the school knows about sex or where babies come from. Because of a law, that means all explicit content is banned, and for some reason sexual education is not taught in schools, which leads to Japan being very moral and also missing the whole, leading to an even lower birth rate. So then we meet the student council, which consists of a white-haired girl, a girl with glasses, Kondo from Gintama, and Tanukichi. And the goal of the student council at the moment is to stop smut and degeneracy from spreading to the students. However, what they know is that there is an imposter among them. The girl with glasses is actually Blue Snow, and after Tanukichi finds out that Blue Snow is the girl with glasses, Ayame Kajo, she successfully blackmails Tanukichi and he reluctantly joins SOP. Following on with Tanukichi's bad luck streak, he gets kidnapped by Hyouka the next day, the aspiring scientist, who shows him two flies fucking for some reason. and then we find out how weird she really is.
I was banned from KFC from licking people's fingers.
Okay then.
Now, remove your pants for scientific purposes.
And then this leads up to Socks' first mission, which is to sabotage the school assembly. And Tanukichi just mentions how Hyouka just has 2 flies in the science room just casually fucking. So, Blue Snow aka IMA takes a video of them and then they sabotage the school assembly by distributing illicit photos of females and showing the video of 2 flies fucking. We also find out that Anna's mum is the one who brought the ex-prohibition law into motion, or at least partnered with the person who made it into motion. So Socks decides to educate the students by getting Tanukichi to dress up in a nurse outfit as Blue Snow and try to get the students to say vagina during the eye test, but he ends up getting caught and having to run for his life. Even after escaping Anna and the gorilla, he ends up getting caught by what can only be described as the average Twitter artist, aka Otome Sawatome. And she blackmails Tanukichi into helping her get with Anna. And we find out that someone is also stalking Anna, which means one thing and one thing only. Sawatome is the goddamn stalker. The student council decides to catch the stalker by having IMA dress up as a boy and hang out with Anna and pretend like they're on a date. Meanwhile, Sawatome decides to dress up Tanukichi as a girl and also try to capture the stalker. And after the human gorilla finds them in the bush, the actual stalker comes out to attack Ayame. And after beating up the 2 of them, an accident happens where Anna's and Tanukichi's lips make contact. And then that awakens something in Anna, like a 13-year-old discovering High School DxD. And then Anna's mother comes to the school to deliver a speech about the new ex-prohibition law. And this is how it totally went.
Your pussy! Hey, bring the camera, son. Bring the camera. All the young girls who want to make life with pussy, your pussy will perish with you in hell. May your pussy perish with you. May your smooth pussy, creamier pussy, and tight pussy perish.
And like Gaijin reading the War Thunder forums to make improvements to the game, they do not approve of this. So Socks decides to go into a forest to find a stash of a lot of 18+ magazines and get their resident Twitter artist redraw them as they can distribute them across the whole school. Oh yeah, forgot to mention that Sawatome also joins Socks so she can draw more lewd art. And for her to improve her lewd art, she deliberately gets Tanukichi attacked by Anna in his own apartment so she can draw better sex scenes. And this is where all the memes come from. Also that very famous cookie scene, if you know what I'm talking about.
Albert, your cookies have my love nectar mixed in the dough!
What the hell? Anyways, the petition for the ex-prohibition law comes around and nobody is there because Hyouka has managed to get everybody to the forest and distract all of the guards and find all of the explicit material. Eventually they find all the porn and they take it back to base, so they get their resident Twitter artist to remake all of it and make new ones like a yaoi manga of Tanukichi and the gorilla guy getting it on. And then we are greeted to the scene of the character making certain toys, and also Tanukichi asking Hyouka to make massage devices. And now a new organisation enters the frame, and this organisation is completely dedicated to stealing underwear. Yeah, I know. And they claim to be affiliated with Socks, even though they technically aren't really, and they just claim it. It's kind of like that guy in the friend group who says he's part of the friend group, but really nobody actually likes him that much, they just keep him around for some reason, aka that was me. And then Socks unfortunately meets the character called White Peak, who's so into underwear that he literally just wears it like it's regular clothes. Yep, this guy is just weird as fuck. And also, this random lolly here, who's got the head of a phallus, manipulates her way into Socks, but more on her later. Eventually shit really hits the fan, because a member of the decency squad becomes a prefect at the school and begins to round up literally anything that's dirty, like for example basketball hoops, and it also rounds up all of the very funny magazines that all of Socks have been making.
What would you rate my yaoi?
Yeah, that's definitely illegal.
But the plot is very deep.
Valid point. Guess I can make an exception this time.
Hey, that's illegal!
Oh yeah, that's legal. Give it!
Please don't take my yaoi. It's for scientific purposes.
A bit later on, Socks is trying to catch the underwear thieves. So they get Blue Snow to distribute all the special biology books around the school, while Tanukichi hands his underwear out the window, hoping to catch one of the underwear thieves. Foolproof plan, right? But no, it's not foolproof because they didn't expect for one variable. Anna and a horny ass motherfucker. She literally comes in and steals the underwear for herself, and then once they're distracted, the actual underwear thieves arrive and steal the underwear from her. Also, the prefect who's meant to be stopping all the dirty things happening in the school is casually just allowing Anna to do the most dirtiest things to Tanukichi, even though it is technically illegal as long as nothing bad happens to her, which puts Tanukichi in a bad spot of constantly getting harassed by Anna everywhere he goes, pretty much.
I'm going to eat your ass, boy! Oh dear God, please help me!
So then Socks goes in for a second attempt to try and catch these underwear thieves, and it's actually pretty successful because they capture quite a few of them and then hand them over to the decent spot. And while all this is happening, Kosuri decides to try and blackmail Hyouka to do some things, but Hyouka ain't buying that shit and tells her to fuck off, essentially. And then a huge plot twist occurs. Female Titan level of plot twist. Finding out that Alice was actually Masquerade level of plot twist. The prefect Oboro, aka Anna's security guard kind of thing, is actually a boy. Anyways, Socks decides to meet up with Gathered Fabric, and specifically White Peak, and this whole summit goes about as well as the Munich Agreement did. And like Germany, White Peak decides to do an attack, and he decides to hijack about 30 different buses around the city. On these buses are the various different characters from the anime, and they all do their own thing to try and stop the terrorist attack. For example, Hyouka, the Sigma male that she is, she literally identifies that the guy hijacking the bus, his gun is fake, and then basically retakes the bus, and then works with the police, going around to every single bus, seeing whether their guns are fake or not. And then Anna activates her inner Hulk and just fucking kills the guy hijacking the bus.
Fatality.
Then Socks lure White Peak into a forest to face him in a 1v1 and then also a 2v1, which they end up winning. But then what happens is Kosuri ends up kicking Blue Snow off the bus and betraying Socks because of this.
I would like to be a terrorist.
Thankfully, Blue Snow and Tanukichi manage to escape, and while that is happening, the school gets taken hostage by Gathered Fabric, and they keep on stealing people's underwear and replacing them, which is very much not the weirdest thing in this anime. So Socks decides to attack Gathered Fabric and rescue the hostages from the school, and they get Anna to help by offering her Tanukichi's underwear, which naturally brings her absolute fucking A+++ game. And during the fight, Otome makes the best line in anime history.
This is proof that 2D is still better than 3D any day.
Then White Peak, on the verge of surrender, decides that he's going to whip out his cock, which has a taser duct taped to it, and starts to attack Socks with it, which is probably some form of sexual harassment. And then he gets his nipples hit with paper cards, and then headbutted in the dick, and kicked out of a window, which is probably the worst way to go. And then Ayame and Tanukichi fly away on a hot air balloon, right after giving a speech. And now this brings us on to the final episode, where all the crew is invited to a health clinic by Anna's mum. But when they get there, and Anna is there, she said that she also got the invite from her mother. But her mother isn't there, and nobody else is at the health clinic. It turns out some guy wearing black panties was the one who invited all of them, and kind of like White Peak, but he's not as insane as White Peak. He then steals all their clothes and forces them to wear black underwear. Never mind, I changed my mind about that. And then he steals this thing, which Tanukichi brought with him for some reason. And it turns out it's actually a key to opening a secret treasure. And in order to get it back, they play strip, rock, paper, scissors. And in order to outsmart the guy in the black underwear, they get the gorilla to play, and after successfully making him puke, they take the key and make a run for it. They find a cable car and get Hyouka, who's just casually just there, get it working. And while using the cable car, Anna decides to chase them like a child when the ice cream van is leaving their street. They manage to get to the secret area and open the vault thingy, and turns out it's actually a tribute to erotic things. Basically just a bunch of erotic statues all over the place. And then they close the vault and leave their mark on it, and then the anime comes to an abrupt end like someone with premature ejaculation. And this is where all the fun in this video ends. So when I was looking to this anime to find out whether there's season 2, I found that actually in 2015, the voice actor for Anna, Matsuki Ryu, unfortunately passed away. And well, because of that, they didn't really make a season 2 because Anna's voice was very, very iconic. Kind of like Bon Scott from AC/DC, who was very, very iconic until he died, and then he got replaced by Brian Johnson, whose voice was still iconic, but obviously, as we all know, Bon Scott was still very, very iconic. It's kind of like that, or maybe I'm just going on a random tangent here. Anyways, guys, thank you for sticking around to the end of the video. Here is the special announcement. Me and these 3 other anime YouTubers here have started an anime podcast where we talk about anime, YouTube, and just life. So make sure to check it out. It is in the link in the description and in my community tab. I just want to say, finally, thank you to you guys for being so patient for this new video to come out. I know it's been quite a long time. I've had a lot of things going on in my life, and, well, shit just went horribly wrong. So thank you all for being awesome and waiting patiently. Anyways, thank you for watching the video. If you really enjoy horny anime, watch this review of the horniest anime on earth, High School DxD, or watch one of the videos here because that one is age restricted. So thank you all for watching, and goodbye.